What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Felicia, and today we are just going to have a good old chat. We are currently getting ready for our snowpocalypse that it hasn't hit us yet, but it's supposed to come in the next few hours. So we're just sort of hunkering down today, and I've been playing some Stardew and just really enjoying. This morning, I woke up with some 6 a.m. downloads. I bullet noted them all, and yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about them. So, recently, I feel like I've recommitted or redecided to go all in on YouTube. And I had resisted saying that because this entire time I have felt all in on YouTube. Because I mean, you look at the history, like I have been posting minimum weekly videos since August of 2024 for nearly a year and a half. So you might like ask, like, haven't you always been all in? Like, I truly do feel like I have been all in every moment. I don't think it never felt like a side thing to me. As soon as I started doing it, I realized how much I loved it. But I knew that, I don't know, I just feel like whenever I kept seeing people like go all in on their dreams, it just like, I was like, I am all in, and still I don't feel like I sometimes am getting where I want to go. And recently, I sort of realized that to get where I actually want to go, I just have to be fully where I'm at. And sometimes I feel like I'm resisting exactly where I'm at. And so the analogy I sort of thought about was like a tightrope walker. Like they are defying how much time it would take to climb down one place, walk over, and climb up. Like that would be the most logical thing to do. But obviously, they're going over on this very small tightrope. And the thing about them is that they're never reaching to get there. They literally have to be fully like under themselves the entire time as they're going. And they can get to the other side probably a lot quicker than climbing down, going over, and climbing back up, which I feel like is sort of where I'm at now, is just recognizing that I need to keep my feet fully under and not have any reaching energy for the next thing, and just fully be where I'm at and embrace it, even if it feels messy or like it doesn't feel like the successful version of me, because the successful version of me doesn't just appear out of nowhere. She works to get to where she wants to go. Sometimes I feel like when we enjoy making art, we're supposed to never want money from it or be okay without money from it forever. And the thing about that is, I think that's what's been holding me back, is not fully claiming that I do want to be supported by YouTube, basically, which feels really exciting, but it also feels really scary to admit or say, because yeah, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? I don't know, like all these different things that can come up. But I mean, there's also this element of like, yeah, you should want to do it even if money doesn't ever happen. And I think at this point, I have proved to myself that that's true. Like, I'm a video creator. I've not made a penny from it. I've spent money and time and energy on this craft for a year and a half with no monetary return. And I've talked about how I've had a lot of other returns, and I genuinely have. If I never make a penny from it, I've still gained so much in my life, but it's not wrong for me to want pennies from it, you know, to want my life to thrive from it. And I think as a society, we can kind of, well, not as a society, but at least there's a group that's like you shouldn't want money from your art. Like, you should just want to do it because you want to do it. But I think both can be true. I think I can want to do it because I want to do it and want it to support my life, because at the end of the day, when art supports your life, the result comes to being able to make more art. If you're supported by what you get to do, you're not like finding time for it, or I guess I'm making time for it now, but there becomes a bigger reason, I guess, to work towards it. And so it can be fun. It can be something you want to do. It can be something you're okay with without money. And you can still want to make money from it and thrive. And I think that's just where I'm at. Like, I'm just ready to claim that for myself. And I started thinking of it kind of like a tree. I'm surrounded by trees. But when a tree is really small, it obviously looks really weak, and it's growing in all these crazy directions. It's just trying to find the balance of itself. And I think making money from your art, if the tree is your art, like, it can just be a branch that almost balances it. And it's okay that it balances it better. You're exchanging all these insights for yourself for something that can sustain you. Like, I think that's perfectly fine to desire that. I definitely have artful trees that don't need money to be balanced. And I don't think that YouTube needs monetization to feel balanced in me. It's just the next step that I want to do. And it's perfectly fine if you're doing something like YouTube or something other people like to monetize and you never want to monetize it. And that's not in the balance of that art form for you. Like, that's perfectly healthy and fine to have. I have plenty of those hobbies and crafts and artistic avenues that I'd never want to balance with money. But I think video making is one that I do want to start growing the branch of. I do want to make a living from this and like go all in. So I have to stop the areas that I'm hiding. And again, with the baby tree, like, you're trying all these new things at the beginning. I just posted my 100th YouTube video. Some of them are similar to each other, some of them are in their own category. I've tried so many different things. I didn't know who I was going to be whenever I started. I didn't know what I was going to like filming. I didn't know what sort of path I was going to be landing on. I didn't know I had so much to talk about when it comes to creativity. Like, I kind of found my stride as I went. I had to take the action to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like and kind of go from there. So you're building all these little branches, and some of them are like, nope, not that belief. I don't want to create this way. I don't want to think about it this way. Like, people create in so many different ways. People are consistent in so many different ways. People are disciplined in so many different ways. So the first 100 videos, or however long it takes, some people can figure it out in 10 videos. And I just wasn't one of those people. I needed the trial and error. I needed to sit with low views and low, like, videos that failed on the outside, but I freaking loved. Like, there are so many that have the lowest views on my whole channel that I just remember enjoying the heck out of as I was creating them. And there was those moments after that was like, oh, you really, really value this video. Do you still value it whenever it doesn't do well? And I think those were the questions and lessons that I had to learn, because had I been some big instant success, I wouldn't have had to ask myself those questions, and I wouldn't have had this like really grounded base going into claiming that I do want to go all in now. So if we're going with the tree metaphor too, like, chopping down and figuring it out. It's just a means of survival for this baby tree. And you want this tree to be a big, long lasting thing. And I think it's been a while. It's been the first time in my life that I've recognized something creative that I do want to be a very long lasting thing in my life, which, how exciting is that to recognize finally, after all these years of wanting this bigger purpose and wanting this more soul fulfilled thing, that I found the thing that I want to do, and now I have to decide to do it and like figure it out, really. But knowing deep down that it is a long game and I do want it to be a big tree one day, you have to set the foundation of like how it is going to be like grow balanced. And that's sort of what the beginning is like, or what it's been like for me. I want to be, obviously you're becoming someone on the journey, but I don't want to be doing things now in sacrifice to my successful self, that my successful self like wouldn't care about or wouldn't be doing or wouldn't be trying to keep up with. I want to feel just grounded in every step so I can get to the other side of the tightrope and recognize that there's just going to be another tightrope to go across then. Like, you have to, I feel like, figure out how you like being on a journey, because that's all you're going to be in this lifetime, is on a journey of some sort. As soon as you get where you want to be now, you're going to want to be somewhere else doing something else. And it might be in entirely different avenues, like when people start new jobs or new families or move places. Like, that's a different branch of being somewhere new in your life, but it's still just a different type rope that you're walking across and trying to get somewhere else. So like, if you're spending most of your time on the tightrope, like, how are you handling that? I think is what my bigger questions are turning into. And how am I enjoying that? And I do really enjoy the process, and I think that's a bigger reason why I'm now having this feeling of like, I really want to go all in, because I know I enjoy the process so much. There's not a lot that I dislike about it, and the things that I dislike, I can make fun. Like, I've learned how to make them fun and not stress about them as much, and or just recognize they don't actually matter. Anything that you want to be something that's long lasting, I feel like does need this solid foundation. And I'm really thankful for where I'm still at, that I've been able to create this solid foundation for myself. So I think the thing that's keeping me from hiding, and the branch that has grown a little bit too big, that would be like a little severing almost to cut off, I'd say, is the belief that talking to the camera just like this is boring, that I'm not interesting enough to do this kind of video. And I love this kind of video. I love my vlogs too. I'm obsessed with everything that I create, but anytime I have a talking video, it's almost like it has to be a really perfectly laid out concept, and I can't just ramble and make weird metaphors and just speak where I'm at. Like, I genuinely don't think I've ever talked about YouTube goals, because I don't know, I'm hiding. It's hiding this aspect of claiming what I actually want. And I think part of it is thinking that, because these kind of videos actually tend to end up doing better than my vlogs. And I think part of that is the ego, like, but I love the vlogs, like those feel like my art more. Like, talking is an art in my head. Like, these performing better almost takes away from the art of the weekly vlog and that vibe if they're not doing as well, right? well, wrong, but that's the belief that I've held, and what stopped me from only posting videos like this if I have these like really fleshed out concepts that I feel like are really unique ways to look at creativity, or just ways that I like, revelations that I've had around creativity. So I've even boxed it into like, I can only talk about these big creative ideas. I can't talk about like anything else, unless it fits into this box. But the thing about creativity is that like, it's life and it all fits into the box. Like, or maybe there's no box. I don't know. I think too, it's that your brain like inherently loves patterns and loves to label you and loves to box you in, but nothing that you want to share is actually random. Even if it's random from each other, like, I think you're going to look back and see where it all connects. And then you'll have this documentation of how it all connects. And I don't know, I think that's really cool. And even if it is random, like, who cares? People do so many things. People are full of so many different ideas and multifaceted. Like, why do I think that people can't handle my multifaceted nature? Like, that's just not true. And also, I'm not even really doing it for them, for someone to handle or not handle me. I'm doing it for me and to witness myself moving through who I get to become when I'm going after my dreams. And maybe my dreams are random. Maybe it's random to want to be a flower farmer, YouTuber, write a book, like be an author, uh, go on book tours and road trips, host retreats. Like, maybe it is random, but I don't know. What if someone at that retreat, like, wants to write a book about flowers, and I can have a very unique and specific conversation with that person and inspire them? I don't know. Like, or if it all coming together never happens, I don't really think it matters. I think we're supposed to do a lot of things and have a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's where I'm at, is just like, I just want to do a lot of things and have a lot of fun, and I want to talk about it. And I don't want to be worried that I'm not saying the right things or fixing myself in this right way. I I want to see how I've come to this art, to this conclusion, to this, like, everyone's going to put a perspective on your art. And I think art becomes more interesting. I don't know, there's this concept where everyone's like, I want the art to stand on itself. But the story of the artist is still really interesting. That's still what people are so drawn to. If you hear a song that you, I don't know, are neutral towards, but then you learn this really specific thing that the artist did to like get the specific sound, and also it was in the 70s when they didn't have this thing, and so it's really cool that they even got that sound. That's cool. That's interesting. That makes it interesting to listen to, but that doesn't devalue the song because it became more interesting when you heard of the story of it. And I think that's where I'm at, is like, if I'm telling you all these ways in which I am curious about creation, does it devalue the art just standing on its own? And I just don't think that's true. And I think linking the two is going to be the secret key that's like stops me from hiding behind this idea that art isn't within my thoughts. Like, that's another thing, is like, I feel this way because I think talking to the camera isn't interesting enough, which means I feel like deeper that my thoughts aren't interesting enough. And I just don't think that that's true. Like, deep down, I think I'm really interesting. And I think the way I approach things is really interesting. And there's so much beauty and art in that alone. And there was a point in time where, like, I wasn't vlogging because I thought I wasn't interesting. And what clicked for me there was simply just saying that I was interesting, just capturing it, made it interesting. And now I truly feel that with or without the camera moving through my life, that I'm just having an interesting, fun time all the time. And also, if it's boring, it actually doesn't matter. It's not like detrimental to yourself to be boring. I'm not even scared to be bored now, or like be, I guess, called boring. Like, but yeah, I think I stopped myself from videos like this because there's this underlying thought that whatever I have to say isn't actually interesting enough. And my art, which is my weekly vlogs and my fun stuff that I get up to, is what is interesting about me. And that, yeah, I'm just like claiming now that that's not true. And I'm also under the belief that sharing this now is what is going to help get me to the next level, which is just going to be ironic. Like in a few months when I look back on this, I think it's going to be like, wow, I can understand the shift now, and like it makes sense. Yeah. I think is what's going to happen. We'll see. Yeah, I wrote in my 6 a.m. bullet point, but that's just another way that I'm telling myself that my thoughts aren't art. When the way that you think is the most artistic thing about you. 6 a.m. I wish it was light out so 6 a.m. me could have come and just said this, because she was on a roll and then I got a little sleepy. But yeah, when the way you think is the most artistic thing about you, I feel that so deeply. It's such a unique thing about a person, the way they handle a situation, the way they think, and the way they approach things. And you're in control of your thoughts. Like that's the beautiful thing about it is if you don't like your thoughts, if you don't think they're interesting, if you aren't having fun up in your head, that's pretty much the one thing that you can change at any time. This is to me breaking the ice on thinking that just the way that I talk and think isn't interesting, and that I can't just sit and do a little chatting video every once in a while whenever stuff like this comes up, and I can't talk about my big dreams. Like, that's all I want to do. So, here's to going all in on YouTube, not in the sense that I create, I'm consistent, I'm whatever. I'm already all of those things. But here's to going all in on really not hiding at all. Not hiding, not feeling shame, not feeling any way about anything that pops in my head and I think, oh, I should do a video about that. To just do it, to just press record and put myself out there in ways that might be boring, and to be okay if someone feels like I'm a little boring or that it wasn't entertaining. It's all right. Maybe I'll entertain you the next time. I'm okay with that. I entertain myself, so, but yeah, that's where I'm at. And I hope that the winter storm isn't too bad, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. It's the weekend for me, so a good cozy weekend. And yeah, I will catch you all in the next video. Bye, guys.